Hey guys, so we have been having a lot of debate about the recent WhatsApp policy changes, and I've gotten a ton of messages because I took a stand that we should all move to Signal. I moved to Signal, and I literally stopped replying on WhatsApp unless it's like life changing or life threatening, and I'm forcing a lot of my family members and friends to download Signal and not use WhatsApp. And the biggest pushback or reason that they generally say about it is, what's the big deal, right? What's the big deal with data? They already have a lot of data, so why should we worry about it? And so I thought I'll just make a video rather than explaining it to everyone one by one. So guys, it's not really, I'm not that fussed up about data, because I understand that social media companies do have a lot of data about us, and it is what it is. But the problem, the central problem that Facebook, in my opinion, has is lack of transparency and consistency. It's not about the fact that WhatsApp is going to share data with Facebook and show us ads based upon that. Facebook has always done that. The problem is that WhatsApp or Facebook has always promised to keep WhatsApp purely ads free and very private, right? So I think the betrayal or the change in stance shows a lack of transparency and consistency on part of Facebook's behavior, which is a big problem, right? I mean, so these like big tech giants are companies, we really depend upon them, right? And if they start changing their policies and saying that, okay, you don't have a choice but to accept, and I'll start doing this from tomorrow, it's a very scary thing, right? We all depend upon that. So my point here is that we should maybe not switch 100%. We should just have alternatives. That's the thesis about it, right? That's the reasoning for me to download Signal and just make it my first choice. And if somebody is not on Signal, I might use Telegram, I might use WhatsApp, right? I don't mind having 3 apps. And it's just important to have a choice, because you don't know if tomorrow Facebook changes something else, and that is even more uh, you know bad in terms of policy. So now I move to the second part, like why Signal. Like there is Telegram, there is multiple apps, and there's a people ask me like, why did you not launch your own app? Well, that's first of all not really a thing that is so easy to do. But the reason why I think we should all rally behind Signal is that there are, in my opinion, if you have a media company, there are 3 points that make it a gold standard, right? So first is, it should be non-profit, right? And why this is important is because every policy is dictated by profit in case of Facebook and Google. And the moment you see that a company is for profit, there is shareholder pressure, and they always have to make sure that they maximize profit, and that dictates the policies, and which is a problem, right? And then the second standard, which where Telegram fails, I think badly, is that the company that owns most of our social media should be open source, right? And why open source? Because so a lot of people ask me, is Signal more secure? So the best way to make anything the most secure product is actually to open source it. Because the moment people can see the source, people can actually point out bugs and point out issues. There are a lot of crazy people, tech folks, who just go through every single line of the code and improve it, or find out bugs and stuff like that. That's the beauty of open source, right? If something is open source and fairly large at scale, it will be made secure by the community. That's how it has always been. So that's where Signal actually shines. And finally, there is this reliability factor. And it's not and I was told like 2 days ago Signal went down. In fact, I was happy, like a few people messaged me right away on WhatsApp. See, you said that we should move to Signal, but can't even handle any load, and it's gone. And my point is simple, right? Twitter went down a lot of times to a point that it almost became like a meme that okay, Twitter is down and the whale is sinking and all that stuff. I think actually it gave them a lot of publicity and a lot of word of mouth, which they could have done without, but I don't think it really hurt them a lot. I mean, people did not move to an alternate Twitter because it was going down, let's say, maybe once every 7 days or so. And Signal has gone down once, and I don't think any company can really be massive without a few crashes. So the moment they get scale and the kind of team they have, they will definitely achieve the stability and reliability they need to become a social media or let's say chat platform for choice. And finally, it's a very simple thing that people say, okay, why are you anti WhatsApp? WhatsApp could have easily given us a choice that if you don't want to share your data, if you don't want to see ads, you can just pay maybe like $1 a month or whatever it is. I already pay for Gmail, I already pay for YouTube to get no ads, and I think the experience is fine. It's not a problem to show ads. The way is lack of choice, the way they are doing it by not giving us any choice and flipping at the end moment, it feels like a click and bait situation. So I think that's a little bit disappointing. So I think people should move to Signal, not because WhatsApp has suddenly become evil and we should just go away from it, it's going to kill us or anything, not like that, but because we should actually protect our choice by having an alternative in an open source non-profit company which is actually running a worldwide platform. If you look at Wikipedia, right, I mean Wikipedia is doing pretty well, right? It's a company based upon purely donations, right? They don't even have any payment. But there are people like a lot of people who pay Wikipedia. So I pay Wikipedia as donations about $10 a year. That's not a huge amount, but I'm sure it helps them sustain their servers and stuff. It's not like servers are not that costly as some media companies make us to believe. So, and finally, I also want to tell you a little bit about the new argument that has come up, and that is the founder of WhatsApp actually went and founded Signal, and Signal will also go the WhatsApp way. So guys, that's not true. I know the history. You should also read it. Brian Acton actually sold WhatsApp to Facebook, and they were both the founders were very, very clear. They wanted to keep privacy a central part of WhatsApp, and and when Facebook actually started sharing few years ago, Brian Acton left Facebook, lost about $500 million in terms of vesting schedules and stuff. He still got a lot of money, but he lost a lot of money also because he left, because this was against his principle. And then he went in and funded a non-profit company. And the point is that Signal is non-profit. The moment that becomes a reality, it changes the game a lot, right? It changes the intentions of the company a lot. So I think that's the thesis why I feel we should protect our choice and move away from the Facebook ecosystem and focus on these open source and non-profit alternatives which are there, and that will be good for us. So thank you. It's your choice.